What are the things they don't tell you about your weight reduction journey? Are there certain things that you're going to experience that can make it significantly harder to release weight once and for all? Are there some things that some people don't want you to know? And the sad truth is yes. The process of weight reduction is a very, very fascinating process. And of course, most people talk about getting your eating clean and making sure you have your exercise dialed in, whatever that might be. But what they don't tell you is what's going to happen emotionally and mentally. In my own personal experience, since I began my weight reduction journey, every time I've hit a new low, every time I've reached a new weight, for example, when I reach a new weight that I haven't been in several years, I a lot of times will uncover negative emotion that I had stuffed down using food. You see, the body was designed to heal itself physically. No one ever had to teach us how to heal a cut in our finger. It just does that automatically. But the body was not designed to heal itself emotionally. We have to actually choose into emotional healing. And so nobody ever had, in most cases, nobody learns how to heal themselves emotionally. That wasn't taught in my school. I don't know, maybe it was in yours. But most people don't know how to actually do that. Most people don't know how to heal themselves emotionally. And so instead of simply instead of healing that, instead of releasing it from their bodies, most people do things to cover up or numb emotional pain. Some people turn to addictive behaviors, some people turn to alcohol, some people turn to drugs, but the vast majority of people turn to extra food, and they'll use that extra body fat to actually cover up those negative emotions so that they no longer feel them. Does that make sense? And it's fascinating because almost every time I've hit a new low, I'll uncover something. For example, just this last week, I reached a new low. I'm the lightest I've been in the last 9 years, and I began to feel just this overwhelming feeling of loneliness and rejection and just depression. And it came almost out of the blue because I'm doing everything right. Like I don't really have any reason to feel depressed. And then I thought back to the last time I had been that weight, and I realized it was when my wife and I were actually in Tennessee, and I was doing door-to-door sales. I was working for a company that makes alarm systems, and even though I was doing quite well, after just 2 weeks, I was the top first-year sales rep in our entire region. But I was still facing massive amounts of rejection, massive amounts of loneliness, and it got to the point where my wife actually, just to keep me going, had to come out and just be with me as I would hit the doors every single day. And what was interesting is if you've studied the laws of physics, particularly the laws of quantum physics, you know that our thoughts and our feelings, scientists have actually proven this. This is not a woo-woo made-up theory. No, this is scientifically proven that our thoughts and our feelings actually have a magnetic pull to them. Scientists have proven that our thoughts and our feelings literally attract things into our lives. And so when we have those thoughts and feelings, when we have those emotions, those feelings inside of us, they will literally attract like things into our lives. And it was really, really fascinating that for about 3 or 4 days after uncovering this, after reaching this new low in my weight, I began to attract some of the same verbiage that I used to hear when I would do door-to-door sales with an alarm system company. Now, it's been 9 years since I did that. And obviously I own my own company now, and the products and services that we offer are vastly different than alarm systems. But I began to receive some of the same verbiage out of people just out of the blue. It was the weirdest thing. And I remember thinking, where is this coming from? Like, what? I haven't heard people say things like this since 2011 when I was doing door-to-door sales. And it finally dawned on me. I went, oh, when was the last time I was at this weight? And bingo, it was the last time, it was when I was doing those door-to-door sales. And because I hadn't worked through that, because I hadn't released those negative emotions, those thoughts, and those feelings, I was literally beginning to attract that back into my life because I had uncovered it. Back in 2011, I didn't know anything about releasing emotion. I thought that was woo-woo. I thought that was weird. And so I did what just about everyone else does. I ate to cover it up. And so I stuffed it down. And as soon as I uncovered that, I began to attract those same things into my life. Thankfully, obviously, I teach people this. I have a number of tools that I use to release emotion. One of them being, of course, did you hear my voice crack there? That's funny. Apparently I'm going through puberty again. But one of them being BEST. BEST is, it's an acronym, it's a huge mouthful. It stands for Bioenergetic Synchronization Technique. Both my wife and I are practitioners. I have the privilege of practicing more full time, but I go to my wife all the time. And what it does, it was originally developed by a chiropractor as a way to adjust his patients without any cracking or popping. He found that he got much better results without the cracking or popping. And he also created it as a way to release the stress that is inside the body. And so I began to utilize these. My wife treated me, of course, and it went right away. And I was able to work through it and release those feelings of loneliness and rejection and depression. And I remember thinking, okay, I feel like me again. All right, let's hit the ground running again. And so as you progress in your journey, it's very, very likely, now not everyone experiences this, but it's very, very likely that you're going to experience some interesting feelings that you've stuffed down. After you uncover them, you're going to begin to have those feelings again because you've brought them to the surface, you've uncovered them. It's really, really important that you have a way or have a person that you can go to in order to release those. This is why every so often in a person's metabolism and weight reduction assessment, where we're able to find out and discover exactly why that person has that extra body fat, why every so often we'll find those emotional, mental roadblocks, and we may recommend they go find a good counselor, or they go find a good hypnotherapist or something along those lines. It's one of the reasons why we tell people, hey, we're going to be very, very thorough in this assessment. And there's got to be a way for you to be able to release that once and for all, for you to be able to work through that. That way you don't go back to old habits. What most people do is once they feel that again, they just cover it right back up. And so it's one of the reasons why so many people that do end up reducing their weight, they put it right back on because they uncover that negative emotion and they don't know what to do with it. And so they cover it right back up. And so make sure you have a way, whether that's going and seeing a good counselor, whether that you have a hypnotherapist, whether you have a BEST practitioner. If you have never experienced BEST before, we have a number of clinics here in Utah. We're actually working on expanding other offices in other states and more offices throughout Utah. If you've never experienced before, you can sign up for a treatment at no charge whatsoever. That'll be my gift to you simply for joining our Enjoy Yourself Thin group. And so if you aren't already a member of that Facebook group, just type in Enjoy Yourself Thin and request to become a member. And as I mentioned, it's normally $50 for a treatment. There will be no charge at all for your first time appointment. That includes the treatment. And so if you feel like maybe you have some interesting things that you've covered up, contact me. If you're seeing this on YouTube, then look me up on Facebook and send me a private message. If you're seeing this on Facebook, comment below on this or send me a private message and say, I need a treatment. And we'll find a time either with myself personally, with one of the other practitioners in my company, to help you to get that released once and for all so that it doesn't end up keeping that extra weight on you. And so one more time, as you're progressing through your weight reduction journey, it's very, very likely that you're going to uncover and begin to feel some interesting emotions that you've stuffed down. It's really, really important that you have a way to release it. If you haven't already joined our Enjoy Yourself Thin group, make sure to do so right away. And if you've never experienced BEST treatment before, comment below or send me a private message and say, I'd like to come in for a treatment. And that's my gift to you to help you in your journey. Love you.